Hi, Jody Dean here. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season and that your new year is off to a great start. The last few days, it's come out that Children's Health Dallas has decided to get rid of the big Trainscape display that so many patients, families, and visitors have loved in the lobby for the last 30 years. Well, I thought about writing an opinion piece for my website, jodydean.com, but decided to do this video instead, and I hope you'll be patient enough to watch the whole thing. And by the way, I am going to read it old school because my teleprompter isn't really working right now. According to Children's own statement, what they want to do as the hospital evolves, what it does, is meet the needs of growing numbers of patients and families it serves. Children says the change will allow it to transform the space into an expanded courtyard, a state-of-the-art playground area suitable for all abilities, an indoor kids area that'll be open 24/7, along with a full-service Starbucks. Some background. For 3 years, I helped host a radio broadcast marathon that raised more than $3 million for Children's Health. I was one of the original grand marshals of the Children's Holiday Parade in downtown Dallas, way back when it was called the Neiman Marcus Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade. The CEO is a personal friend of mine, and I have several letters from him thanking me for my efforts over the years. But I wouldn't be much of a friend if I didn't say loudly right now that getting rid of the model trains at Children's Health Dallas is a big mistake. Up until this week, I thought one of the dumbest ideas I'd heard recently was the one running around the Fort Worth Stockyards, that maybe it was time to get rid of the Fort Worth Stockyards Rodeo. Yeah, let's dump one of the very things that brought hundreds of thousands of tourists to your town every year. It's a business decision, and I have a feeling that's what Children's decision here is as well. Trainscape occupies about 5,500 square feet. Now, business says square footage either makes you money or it costs you money. And apparently Children's business minds think that matters more than what a few model trains can do. They're wrong. As a kid, I spent a great deal of time in hospitals. First, don't blame Starbucks. Many times parents spend weeks living in a hospital. And when your kid is hurting and you're terrified, any kind of creature comfort is often appreciated. I've had kids in the hospital too. Maybe you have as well. And if you've ever had hospital coffee, you know Starbucks will taste pretty good by comparison. Besides, I like Starbucks. It's not their fault. What it is, however, is a complete lack of understanding. There's actual science out there about why kids like trains so much. Studies show that trains stimulate spatial cognizance, essentially jump-starting the imagination. Children with better spatial abilities actually do better in school and on tests, to say nothing about what it does for their ability to daydream. As those trains travel their magical little landscapes, kids think about where those trains might be going and what wonder might await at their destinations. There's a reason Mr. Rogers used a train in his neighborhood. They take kids out of themselves. And if you're in a wheelchair hooked up to tubes and needles, imagining being anywhere else matters. It's healing, and I should think Children's would have read the research. I've long said that the problem is never a lack of opportunity. It's almost always a lack of imagination. Just imagine for a moment. Just imagine if instead of dumping the trains for a Starbucks, Children's had announced that they were going to build the only Starbucks in the world with its own model trains. Do you suppose that this unnecessary, colossal PR disaster would have played better then? No one is saying that an all-ability play area or a courtyard wouldn't be great things. They are. But for a sick child, engaging the mind is every bit as vital as engaging the body. That's why trains are so loved. But these days, business degrees often seem to come at the expense of a heart, and in this case, clearly in the place of a brain. The fact is that getting a Starbucks anywhere is not a quick process. So this was in the works long before Children's fumbled the rollout. Tell people that donations are down and you need extra revenue and they'll listen. Tell them it might keep an extra air ambulance on standby and they'll agree. Tell them you're building an even better way to treat and heal sick kids and they'll show up with gloves and hammers. But tell them progress will mean losing something that helps in a way that ledgers can't quantify, and they won't call that progress. They'll call you out. I've worked in a business that increasingly became beholden to the bottom line at the expense of creativity and vision. And chances are you have too. A revenue stream is not worth losing the spirit that made you what you are. You'll sacrifice the latter and eventually you will lose the former. It may be too late to save the trains, I hope not, but they've already planned a special day for Homer Bedloe to come out and cancel the cannonball. The infuriating part of all of this is that with just a little imagination, children could keep Trainscape and evolve, whatever the misuse of that verb implies. But seeing through the eyes of a child doesn't seem to be how they saw things here. And if you stay on that track, eventually you lose all the things that got you where you wanted to go. I'm Jody Dean. Have a good day.